Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thidoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Yes, we will attack and dominate today. It is a Tuesday. It is Tito. It is Carpenter's Mark the Shark. Our YouTube stuff over here on the side, Shark, is like going in and out. I think there's like a cord that's not plugged in all the way. But we're on. Now, I'm telling you, it keeps fading in and out over here. It's a great start. We're good. I know. Thank God we got people here. Yes. Bobby, good morning. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Doing well here. Feeling a lot better today than I did yesterday.
People yesterday wondered if you were going to do karaoke for Melissa Etheridge songs last night. They said your voice was a little rough at the end of the day yesterday.
Is that really a thing?
I think there's...
Come to my window?
Yeah. Bobby, I think yesterday you could have nailed that, or Betty Davis Eyes, Kim Carnes, one or the other. You could have done either one of those and been successful.
Okay. All right. Well, that would have been good. Yeah, voice probably a little more gravelly than normal, but coming off a weekend off, I mean, that can be the case. It's fine.
I got you. That's why I brought it up yesterday. I said Monday's a tough day to be juiced, to be up and like chipper.
I always like it. I said the worst part of doing this is waking up. Once I get out of bed, I'm good.
We are 58 days until the Pro Football Hall of Fame game, Bobby. We are now 81 days until the first four college football. I'm going to keep doing this. I don't care if anybody likes it or not. We are 88 days until Ohio State, Texas, and we are 93 days.
Do you have some sort of counter, or do you do this yourself?
No, 93 days. I've got, on my home computer, Bobby, I've got like countdowns for this stuff. 93 days till start of the NFL. I can't wait. I know that I was told, hey, enjoy it, embrace summer and all this stuff. That's fine. I'm not embracing it. I want football. That's what I want, Bobby. I want football. Brewers beat the Reds 3-2 yesterday. They played tonight at Great American Ballpark at 7:10. Guards with the Yankees tonight starting at 7:05. Shark, you excited about the Guards and the Yankees?
Not really.
You are UL Washington.
They won 2 out of 3 in April. I'm saying they. The Guardians took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees.
Not they. Okay.
We won 2 out of 3 in Cleveland back in April. Now you go to New York. You're facing Carlos Rodon, who's 7-3 tonight. I'm not optimistic.
You get the coffee stirrers in your mouth when I talk to you.
I love that he chews.
No,
on
that's
straw.
the UL Washington thing. That we talked about it yesterday with the toothpick in his mouth, playing shortstop for the Royals in the 70s and 80s, and you've got that in your mouth now. Shark, look, I love you. You mailed it in.
I did not mail it in. I've been chewing on toothpicks probably most of my adult life. And my kids always yell at me because I sleep. Sometimes I forget.
You sleep with a toothpick?
Sometimes I forget I still have the toothpick.
Are you serious?
And I go to sleep, or I'll be in the pool with the toothpick, and they'll be like, "Dad, take your toothpick out of your mouth in the swimming pool."
When you sleep with a toothpick, how do you do it with the CPAP?
I don't.
Oh, everyone doesn't do a CPAP, just me?
Yeah.
Okay, just check. I thought you also did one as well, not you.
If you worked really hard to get to where that CPAP.
I did. It was not easy. Indiana OKC tomorrow, or Thursday at Game 1. Florida Edmonton tomorrow night, Game 1. And we've got a lot going on today. So let's just dive right into history. And I can't. We ready, Shark?
All right, I'm ready.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Bobby, let me first publicly apologize to Shark for saying you mailed it in. Even though he didn't have it ready to go, he's not mailing it in.
Oh, Shark's always ready.
You're good.
He's a pro. He's
something. He's something.
It is Monday, June 3rd, the 154th day of the year. 211 days remaining in this 2025, and Shark, I don't even know how many work days you have left, but
it's 4 weeks from today. So if you include today, it'd be 21, including today's show.
We're not taking any more PTO before then?
Nope.
Damn right
for the duration.
The long haul.
He nailed it.
Good for you, Shark. This date, 1863, Robert E. Lee begins his second invasion of the North. It's the Gettysburg Campaign. Obviously not going successful for the South as they are turned back. This date, 1925, Eddie Collins becomes the 6th player all-time to record 3,000 hits. Shark, do you have that 3,000th hit?
I don't, Bob, but he was a great hitter for the Philadelphia A's and the Chicago White Sox. He was on that Black Sox team
right?
that threw the World Series.
There we go. Allegedly threw the World Series.
Allegedly, he wasn't part of that. So he's in the Hall of Fame.
This date, 1967. Respect by Aretha Franklin hits number 1.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I always like telling the story. I mean, she performed at the Lancaster Festival one year.
Really?
Yeah, this was back. I was in high school. I was maybe sophomore year, maybe 2000, 2001. Somewhere in there, 99, 2000. And then I was up at City Center the next day or later that week. And there was the Johnny Rockets there on the second floor. And I was up on the third floor, and she came walking through. And I don't know if they knew that she was going to be there or they were just hoping, but they did a whole respect, like, dance choreographed deal. It was pretty cool for her. It was like getting a chance to see that was awesome. This date, 1972, Take It Easy by the Eagles is released.
Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy.
You were late, Shark.
Standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona.
We did it yesterday,
Such
too,
a
off the
fine
air.
sign to see.
Yes.
Where is that on your Eagles catalog, Shark?
Oh, that's probably top 3.
No, stop.
I'm a take it to the limit
No,
guy.
no, listen. I'm telling you right now, you could say top 3. If we start going through the catalog, I bet it's lower than 3.
No.
I'm not. It's a great song.
I've thought about this. Take It to the Limit is my favorite, and then Hotel California, and then Take It Easy.
Those are your 3.
Those are my 3 Eagles songs.
So
where are you going?
Well, I'm just saying, like, there's other ones too. There's like Hotel California. Yes, I think is probably like the consensus number 1 on that one.
A lot of people like Desperado.
Desperado's overrated. it got
By
overplayed for
you.
the Seinfeld thing. The Seinfeld thing made it overrated. I think it got too played.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, where are you putting in some of the guys' independent stuff, like Boys of Summer?
Listen,
Don
Boys of
Henley,
Summer. Don Henley had a great run. Glenn
Joe
Fry,
Walsh, Glenn Fry, some of their.
Listen, the Glenn Fry, the heat is on. Glenn Fry, You Belong to the City.
Yeah.
Glenn Fry, Sexy Girl, underrated.
All right.
But did you ever listen to Hanson? You never found it. You stopped looking at the show. I don't know why I'm asking.
What do you
stopped
mean?
looking.
Their second.
Where's the Love?
Yeah,
You didn't.
I did
It
not
was
look
not.
for
It was
that.
not priority for you yesterday.
It was not.
Okay.
And then this state, 1995. Have You Ever Really Loved a Woman by Bryan Adams? It's number 1.
I'm sorry, Shark. Apologies again. That's me.
Not overrated.
Yes, it is. It's not a.
I love Bryan Adams.
That's like a top
Canadian.
10 for him, maybe. Top 10, maybe.
That was his last. I think that was his last number 1. If I'm not
Run to
mistaken.
You, Cuts Like a Knife.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are better.
He's
than
got some
this one.
bangers.
This was
so-
good though if you were breaking up with a girl or trying to get back together with a girl after you broke up with her.
That
was in there. That was you could play that one.
that's
That
in the
one and
catalog.
Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. Those are the ones that you could do to get back in good graces. Sorry.
Some birthdays today. Jefferson Davis, Thidoff's guy, leader of the Confederacy, born on this day, 1808. Garrett Hobart, born on this date, 1844, the 24th Vice President of the United States, died in office. He was the president for the first 2-time non-consecutive term president.
Oh, that would be Grover Cleveland.
There you go.
Hell of a pitcher.
Yeah, he died in
Alexander.
1899, before the conclusion of that first term. Former First Lady Jill Biden, turning 74.
Wait a minute,
You
not
said
former
First
First
Lady
Lady.
Jill Biden?
Jill?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Joe.
Joe would have thought that I said Joe. I said Jill.
I'm not going to do this.
Yesterday you
said
told me
Joe.
Jill.
Yeah.
I don't think so, Bob.
Or maybe I did say Joe.
Darn it.
Because you said you had Joe Sound.
I've got Joe, and it took
That's
me
fine.
15 minutes to put it together. Do you
Okay,
want to hear it?
Yeah, let's do
There's
it.
no Jill in
It's
here.
her husband. It's just as good.
All right.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it.
You know, the rapidly rising I don't know. I just spoke at Dartmouth on healthcare at the medical school, or not. I guess I wasn't actually on the campus, but the people from the medical school were at the. I I want to be clear. I'm not going nuts. I'm not sure whether it's a medical school or where the hell I spoke, but it was on the campus.
That's actually pretty good. The last part of
That's
that,
not
I
He just
wanted to
gets a little confused.
Shark, listen. When you were cutting that up, did you say, I'm looking forward to this?
The funny,
being
yes,
you.
I'm so disappointed that it's not his birthday.
Well, it's okay. It's Jill's. It's his wife.
All right.
74.
There wasn't quite as much stuff in there about Jill as there was.
Not a lot of
Joe.
Jill cuts.
No. Also turning 74 today, Denise Williams. Let's hear it for the boy.
'Cause every time he pulls me near, I just want to cheer. Let's hear it for the boy. Let's give the boy a hand.
Oh, one of the good ones.
Never saw the
Watching
movie.
Kevin Bacon teach him how to dance there. You've never seen Footloose?
No. Why would I see Footloose?
Come on.
Have you seen Cannonball Run 2? Because Sinatra's. Go ahead. That's
I'm
fine.
done with
That's
you.
fine. We're done. Go ahead.
Danny Wilde, one of the frontmen for the Rembrandts, turning at 69. Sam Mills, 12-year NFL linebacker, born on this date, 1959.
R.I.P.?
Hall of
He
Famer.
died away.
Yeah.
He died 20 years
Way
ago.
young. Yeah.
20 years ago. Travis Hafner, the tribesman, legendary, turning 48. I would have thought, Shark, that he had more than 213 home runs, but that was his number.
High fly ball, deep right field. Moore is back, looks up, and it is gone. A home run. Check swing over the head of the pitcher. It'll be a tough play, and nobody's going to make it. It goes into center field, and now he's going to try to go to second base. There's the flip to second, and he's in safely. It's a double. He bounces it off the plate. Radke says, I've got it, and he throws it away. Line into the gap in right center field. That's going to get down and roll for a while. Will it roll long enough? Here goes Hafner. He's going around second. He'll go to third. Here comes the throw. He's got it. He's got it. Unbelievable. He hits for the cycle.
If he worked at his craft, he'd be Russell Brandon. Go ahead.
Get out of here. Al Horford, Boston Celtics, turning 39 today.
You got to make a quick decision on this play. 1 point game. Brown into Horford. Horford is going to take it. Got it! Boston wins! 22 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Mr. Do Everything. Offensively carrying the load, running multiple positions. Defensively doing it all. What more can he do? Ball game with a buzzer beater.
And then finally, one of the greatest tennis players of all time, winning 14 French Opens. The lefty, Rafael Nadal, turning at 39 today.
Oh, it's made it! Ridiculous! That's unbelievable.
Oh, my words! Absolutely incredible from Rafael Nadal. What a way to win this match.
Oh, it's incredible! And that is what they have come to see from Rafael Nadal. Oh, where does its strength come from?
A flick of the wrist. See you later.
I got to be careful on this, Bobby.
Yeah. What's your bad take on Rafael Nadal?
Not on Rafael Nadal.
Not the greatest lefty of all time?
This is not a take on Nadal. It's a take on announcers. Okay? If you've got somebody with a British accent calling it, I assume it's an international thing. Okay? That's my assumption. That's my prejudice. Let's just say that's my prejudice. I'll give you that. I don't think I could ever have a British announcer calling a stateside NFL game. I think it would freak me out. I think I would not like that.
I've had beef because they've had these British announcers calling stuff in the Olympics that NBC contracts. I'm like, why do we have to have foreigners do that?
Okay, no, see, I didn't say foreigners. That wasn't me on that one.
And I'm not talking about the band either.
I'm just like, seriously, like when I hear that, I think, okay, this has got to be either World Cup or it's got to be tennis or it's got to be, some kind of like the British Open. But if you tell me that same guy is doing, whatever, Browns Bengals on CBS, it would bother me. Is that a prejudice? Does that make me?
No, it's
not racist. Not racist.
No, it's. I would say maybe xenophobic. Would
Okay,
be the
xenophobic.
word.
I'll take that one. That sounds like I'm smart.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of teach you some things while you're on here, Thidoff. When I listen to American sports, because I want it called by Americans.
Right, I'm with you on that.
I mean, I don't care what you look like, but I want them to have an American dialect.
Look,
I don't
why
care
can't
if
they do like
that's
the Beatles?
Southern, New York, wherever it is.
Hey, all those British singers sound American when they sing. Let's do that. Let's have them fix that part of their dialect.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
That's the next segment. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what's amazing, Shark, is I honestly, it was surprising to see Rafael Nadal not win a French Open. It seemed like he was just going to win.
Yeah, you're right.
Forever. I'm like, he was so dominant. I never thought that he would get to the point where he'd ever lose or ever not be able to play and go win.
Nobody else on the surface for tennis, right? I mean, Bjorg, you and I had that with Wimbledon. He used to win all the time there.
He won 5 in a row.
Yeah, so Bjorg was great there. But is there anybody else on a certain surface that was
Borg, not Bjorg. It was Bjorn Borg.
It wasn't Born Bjorg. Okay, I got it wrong. That's fine, Charlotte. That's fine, Shark. We can do that. I called you Charlotte. Bjorn Borg, yes. He had 5 in a row.
On Wimbledon. And he retired young.
Way young. Came back after his cocaine addiction, but didn't do it well.
Listen, Rick James said that's a hell of a drug.
Wooden racket.
Some passings today. Passing away. It's been 9 years since Muhammad Ali passed away in 2016.
I'm better now than I was when you saw that 22-year-old undeveloped kid running from Sunday Lister. Jaw's been broke, knocked down a couple times. Bad. Been chopping trees. I done something new for this fight. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. Fast. Last night, I cut the light off my bedroom, hit the switch, was in the bed before the room was dark.
That's great. I mean, his little lyrics were amazing. Very, very talented there.
Do you remember Black Superman, the song?
What?
Black Superman. You remember that song, Shark?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to sing it for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Muhammad Ali, he floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee. He moves like the bad Superman and calls to the other guys, I'm Ali. Catch me if you can.
Did he sing that himself?
He did, yeah.
No,
but he was. But the line, the great thing about him was when he was on an airplane one time, and comes through the stewardess in first class, says, "Sir, fasten your seatbelt." And he said, "Superman don't need no seatbelt," and she said, "Superman don't need no plane. Put your seatbelt on."
That's good. And then also passing away, the famed attorney for O.J. Simpson, F. Lee Bailey.
The O.J. case was unfortunately a charade almost from the get-go. It rubbed a lot of luster off American jurisprudence and has held us up to ridicule, and the public was more poorly informed than in any other case that I've handled. It's the only case in my life where the chief witness for the prosecution wound up pleading guilty to perjury during the trial. And I said, well, if you don't make O.J. try the glove on, I might. It wasn't even my witness. I was bluffing him. It's an experience I could well have done without.
That's amazing. Regrets, I guess, moving forward with that. Some holidays, observances today. It is Love Conquers All Day, National Chocolate Macaroon Day, National Egg Day, National Itch Day, World Bicycle Day as well. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date, June 3rd, the 154th day of the year, and 211 days remaining this 2025.
Well done, Bobby, as always. By the way, Sarah Spain, she is, you've seen her on ESPN, Around the Horn, other platforms as well, but she's got a new book, Runs in the Family, Incredible Story of Football, Fatherhood, and Belonging. And peek behind the curtain, we talked to her yesterday. We're going to play the interview now, though. But it was an incredible story. You've got to check it out. Her book comes out today. Again, it's called Runs in the Family, Incredible Story of Football, Fatherhood, and Belonging. We'll talk to Sarah Spain. We'll play that for you next. This is Morning Juice.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill, and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
We build a brand new studio just for Bobby, and Tito has already ruined it just by being here. I'm pregnant. This is Morning Juice.
Now we're joined on Morning Juice by Sarah Spain. You've seen her all over the place on ESPN for years now. God, Sarah, sorry, it makes you sound old. But you've been on ESPN for years doing different things. And your book comes out today, Runs in the Family, incredible true story of football, fatherhood, and belonging. It's about, it really is, it's an incredible story. It's one of those things where it's about Diebler McCullough and kind of where his journey, his life, what happened with him. And it's one of those things where it's almost the truth is stranger than fiction. Like you couldn't make something like this up when you read through the whole thing, all the backstories of it. I got to believe that's what it was like for you when you were putting the whole thing together.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you know the rest of that saying, but that's the beginning of the book, because the rest of it is the truth is stranger than fiction, but fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities. Meaning that sometimes it's so improbable, it must be true, right? And that's sort of the story. Like, if you made it up and you tried to convince people, it would all feel too perfect. But yeah, Diebler McCullough, who's the Raiders running backs coach, grew up in Youngstown, Ohio. Post-industrial collapse, he was adopted, and then his adopted dad leaves, so he's sort of doubly rejected by father figures, ends up being raised by a super hardworking and really, really loving mother, but she makes some unfortunate decisions around the men she brings into their lives. She really wants to give them a father figure, but unfortunately, they aren't the best dudes, so he's around abuse and drugs, and there's a lot of struggles with money, and he finds football, and that's really the thing that helps get him out of Youngstown, helps show him his own self-worth. He has a lot of self-doubt as a result of being adopted and wondering if he's, worthy of the love of his adoptive mom as folks keep leaving him. And the sort of twists that football take him are part of the story and part of the heartbreak, right? He breaks all the records at Miami of Ohio, where he gets recruited to play by another Youngstown guy, Sherman Smith, who had gone on to the NFL, made it big and came back to coach at his alma mater, recruits him to go there, breaks all these records, ends up going to the Bengals undrafted, is leading the NFL in preseason yards, and thinks he's going to make the team. And unfortunately blows out his knee and sort of, tries everything, CFL, XFL, more NFL, and has to resign himself to the fact that he's not going to make it as a pro. Becomes a teacher, becomes a coach, has 4 sons, and all the while is still sort of wondering who he is and who his birth parents are. And so that part of the story is both about football and mentorship and the people who sort of lead us by choice, but also some really fascinating studies of how you become who you are, which is as much because of your DNA as it is because of your raising, the whole nature versus nurture thing.
Which is pretty remarkable, Sarah, as you look at this. And, you had mentioned the story's been around for a little bit, and I remember watching some stuff on it. Ironically, my dad played with Sherman Smith at Miami. And
no way.
Yeah, they were backfield mates, and, they were good friends. Sherman was their quarterback for 3 years there playing together. And so when I saw this story about, and you look at McCullough, you can see, in obviously when you put them side by side, you can obviously see the resemblance of them back and forth, of him playing for then his biological father, both of them not knowing that at the time, was pretty remarkable. And what as you kind of learned about this, what drew you to this story as opposed to something else out there? I mean, you have a chance to write about a million different things, but what was unique about this? I mean, outside of the truth being stranger than fiction, but why this story? Why this narrative?
Well, you dropped the twist there, which I was getting to, but I was pausing in case you wanted to insert anything. So just for those who maybe weren't following along from what he just said, so when he gets to his 40s, some laws change. He can find his birth certificate. He decides to go looking for his birth parents, partly for the medical reasons for his 4 sons, partly just because at this point in his life, he's successful, he's settled. It feels a little less navel-gazy to be wondering about himself. Back in Youngstown, when everyone's struggling, it feels like the last thing I need to do is ask people unnecessary questions about where I came from and my birth parents and everything else. But now it's 40-plus years later, and it's time. He finds his birth certificate, finds his mom within a day and a half on Facebook. She had been a high school honor student who was sent away to have the baby in private. No one at school is any the wiser. The little fling she had was already off to college, so she figures she should just be responsible, and she feels awful that she's made this mistake. And so nobody knows about the baby except for her parents and her cousin. And she's been looking for him for years at this point. She never got married, never had kids. She's so excited that he finds her and that she's going to have this new family and that he's a great guy and that he turned out well. And when he asks her, the birth certificate doesn't say a father. Do you know who my dad is? She says, yes, I never told him. I didn't want him to find out through the grapevine, but he's your father, so you deserve to know. Your father's a man by the name of Sherman Smith. And Dylan is like, I know him. That's my college football coach. That's my mentor of almost 30 years. Did a coaching internship with him at the Seahawks, stayed in touch over the years, getting tips for his coaching career. So this incredible tie that had connected them for almost 30 years was, in fact, that they were father-son. And my friend Skip played college football with Dylan. So a couple years ago, when Dylan finds all this out, he messages a bunch of his old teammates, and he's like, y'all aren't going to believe this, but Coach was my dad, which anyone who's ever played sports, try to put yourself in that position where one of your teammates calls up and says the coach you all played for was their parent, without either of them knowing it. And it starts to sort of all make sense, and especially a lot of these moments throughout life when people kind of picked up on something. And a lot of times they thought Dylan was just being a kiss ass. You walk like him, you talk like him, you want to be him. And it's like, no, that's his dad. So, yeah, pretty wild. And so as soon as Skip told it to me, I was like, this has to be an ESPN story. Did an E60, did a long-form feature writing, and then it blew up and went super viral, and we started to get interest for a movie and a book, and here we are.
Sarah Spain joins us here, the author of Runs in the Family, incredible true story of football, fatherhood, and belonging, comes out today. I encourage you to check it out because it really is an incredible story. And when you look at it, Sarah, from stepping back a little further from it, and just all the different things that had to happen fate-wise for this to all be tied together. And I'm not trying to get on like the faith or the fate train and all that, but when you were writing this, though, and as you uncovered all these different layers to this story, what effect did it have on you as a person? Did it change you at all as a person?
So I will say that, that's an inevitability when you hear the story and when you read the book in particular, because I know it feels like we gave away the twist, but there is so much more to the book, including another parental twist that I won't give away. But there's just a bunch of stuff in there that you're sort of, it's if you're religious, you 1000% see God in this and you see his hand. If you're mystical or you believe in sort of fate, then you 1000% see that the fates were setting things up for this. And if you're not, and you still think it's a coincidence, there's so much to be learned by how the people involved react to it. Just an incredible amount of grace for unexpected events, for unforeseen circumstances, for people who did their best but struggled, and what that means ultimately for the person at the heart of the story, who is Deland, and how he turned out the way he did, even with the struggles that his mom had and the men that he was surrounded by and the parents that chose and made, the decision, the parent really, because she was the only one who knew, to leave him behind and hope he was picked up by a family that would better take care of him than a 16-year-old. And all of that wrapped up in sort of like, to your point, how did it affect me? I'm not particularly religious. So for me, it wasn't, look at God in the story. It was more, how do you reconcile the things that are up to us and the things we get to choose? And I think part of the reason I wanted to write the book the way I did was that it's not just his story. It's a story that anyone can read and think about their own family and decide for themselves, what was I given that I can't control? Blood, DNA, physical characteristics, things like that. And what was passed down that I can? Family systems, emotional DNA, lessons, messaging. Are they still serving me? Are they still serving my family? And will they serve the next generation? And if not, I get to be intentional about it. They might feel sort of non-negotiable, but most of them are subjective ideas that we pass on and on and on to our family, and we can decide to end them the same way Deland decided to end generational trauma, abuse, things like that, and elected to be a person that he never saw growing up in his own life. And that to me is the biggest message, is that it's about choice. We are not, completely beholden to the reins of fate or religion. We can make ourselves what we want.
As you looked at this and coming in, and people talk about the nature versus nurture, Sarah, and, obviously his nurturing situation left something to be desired, but ironically, he turns out strikingly similar career path to his dad. Yeah. Did you have a preconceived notion coming into things? And listen, I know it's idiosyncratic for every single person, but of what you thought impacted people to a degree, and then after learning about this, did that impact your opinion on that?
Well, I read about 8 or 9 books to write this book because I really wanted to understand the dynamics of adoption and what it tends to do for people. And that includes at the moment that they're born, if they're removed from the caretaker, the mother that they were in, what that means psychologically, how that affects attachment, all the other things. And then carrying on from that, learning about, human beings and physiology and psychosomatic responses and all these other things. And the most interesting, I think, is epigenetics, which is a more recent science and understanding over the last 50 or so years of the impact that our environment, our raising, everything else actually has on our DNA. So your DNA is set, but it's almost like a dimmer switch that can go all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom, or somewhere in the middle. And that can be really impacted by environmental factors, whether that's literally, the air you breathe, the water you drink, or abuse, famine, all these other things. And there are studies across multiple generations that show that you can have internal sort of factors that are decided based on someone who was your grandparent who had incredible famine or something like that. So that epigenetics of like turning the dimmer switch off on your genes is the reason that, say, identical twins start out exactly the same and then start to start to diverge away from each other. So basically the experts now say it's never nature or nurture. It's always both. And so trying to figure out by studying Deland and his family, which things he seems to have gotten from the lessons he got from the family he lived with versus the things that seem ingrained in him is a fun exercise. It's fascinating.
Sarah Spain joins us, runs in the family, an incredible true story of football, fatherhood, and belonging. Her book comes out today. And I'm curious, what was the most difficult part of this kind of project for you? Because I know, obviously you do a lot of things with podcasts. You're on TV shows. You're a writer still, but this is a much it's a much larger undertaking here. I'm curious what the most difficult part of this was, and do you see yourself being somebody who wants to keep doing books like this, or is this like, you know what, I did this, I loved it, I enjoyed it, but I want to go back to some of the other things?
The hardest part was starting. Because it is incredibly daunting. And I have to tell a funny story. I was doing all the research, and I was really pouring myself into the research side because it was a great way to procrastinate actually writing the book, right? It was like, I'm being productive. I just haven't written a word yet. And Alex Rodriguez follows me on social, and so I was following him back, and he had a post that said, I think I'm going to write a book about myself, and, time to get started. And it's just him sitting in a chair in shorts, and all the shot is of his legs with a piece of paper on his lap, and it just says book underlined. And I'm like, all right, Sarah, get it together. Alex Rodriguez has gotten a real hot start on his book. It says book underlined. So you got to get in there and just get started. The hardest part was starting, and then eventually what it became and felt like was almost a puzzle or a mystery to solve, because I did these hours and hours of interviews with Dylan and all of his family members. And so then how do I take all these pieces and stories and anecdotes and themes and lessons that I want woven throughout and connect them all together to create this story of a life, and what things are worth including and what things aren't. And then that became really interesting and super fun to me. So the beginning was hard. Once I treated it as sort of a mystery or puzzle, then I really got into it. And yes, I would love to keep doing this. I don't know about like this specific story. I've already had another athlete sort of reach out about writing her book. But I said I wanted to do the whole process first. What does it mean to sell it and promote it and finish it and all that stuff before I decide if it's for me? But I think it is, because it's a very meditative process. It's very different than daily shows. And I've been doing daily radio or podcasting for 15 years. I think there was 1 year in the middle where I took a little break, and that was like pretty nice, was not to have a show every single day and have the light turn on and need to be caught up. So I do think there's something about that that's very appealing. Maybe not right away, but certainly down the road, to be able to, go to like a farm somewhere and hang out with animals while I write and relax a little bit.
So as we talked, I mean, the unbelievable irony of like how all this played out, and Dylan playing for his father, not knowing it was his dad. You mentioned you sat down, and there's other twists, and not to give them away, but how, as you sat here and you did all these interviews, and knowing that point A to B is about the most unlikely story. I mean, Disney movie caliber plot twist at the end. But you said there's other. How surprised were you as you were interviewing everyone to find other stuff in there that may have been just as compelling?
Extremely surprised, in part because we'd already done this long form feature and E60. So I was expecting to learn a lot more detail. I was expecting to hear a lot more specifics, but at least one of the other twists, I kind of would have expected the person to tell me the first time we did the story.
Oh.
And I guess for him, the perspective that I gained from this was, first of all, not to be judgmental of people without knowing the full story, and to have empathy and understanding for the circumstances that people have surrounding them when they make the decisions they make. Mm-hmm. And I think in particular in this story, it's sort of a reverse of a lot of other stories of adoption, where you usually imagine that the birth parents are very young or financially struggling or have alcohol or drug abuse, or there's something that causes them to feel like they can't take care of a child. And they give it to an adoption agency, and the baby's taken on by a great family that gives it a great life, right? And in this case, the birth parents ended up being very successful. They were just young, and they thought that it was best for the child to grow up in a 2-parent household and have this great life. And unfortunately, when Dylan's adoptive dad leaves when he's 2, that means the rest of his young life, he has one parent. They really struggle financially. There's a lot of struggle in the household. And so there's a lot of possible judgment for his adoptive mom, and especially from his birth parents when they find him. And he explains to them that he didn't have the life that they imagined, or that his mom had imagined when she gave him up. And it's easy to be judgmental about that, but that's part of the reason I tell the story of Youngstown so much in detail and really make it like another parent in his life, because it had such an outsized impact on why his childhood was the way that it was, the struggles that were going on there. And I think, some of the things I learned that I thought I would have learned the first time, or some of the stories that people told of their reactions to things, in a vacuum, I think I might have judged or felt like, oh, that's never how I would have handled that situation. But because I took the time and did the interviews and really got to know everybody, I wanted to be able to present even the folks, like the abusive guys that come into Dylan's life, as full human beings, and try to understand that we are the people we are because of what came before us and around us and to us, and how having that opinion of people and seeing that full picture of how they turned out the way they are is the best way to really approach everyone in life, and to try to understand, why they do the things they do and maybe what happened to them that caused them to be how they are.
So I'm guessing you interviewed Sherman with this as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So
he's the best.
He's awesome. I got a chance to, like I said, he played with my dad, and ironic, like Randy Walker was the head coach. He was the third member of their backfield, all playing together.
No way.
At Miami, Ohio. Yeah, Randy was a good friend, and I would always run across Sherman when I was playing in the NFL and seeing him. And so as you interviewed Sherman and Dylan, and like you have a son that grows up not knowing his father, and a father not knowing he even had a son. Mm-hmm. As you talk to the two of them, I don't want to. The term regret is I don't know how you would regret something you didn't even know, but lamenting. Like, was there a stronger sense of emotion on either side of them of what it would have meant to have that relationship?
Yeah,
in totality.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, Dylan felt it much stronger because he never had a father. Right, there wasn't anyone there. On the mother's side, he was thrilled to find his birth mother, and they have a very special relationship. But he had a mom growing up, and he still does have his adoptive mom. But he never had a father figure. And Sherman sort of was that, right? They only knew each other for a semester at Miami of Ohio. Sherman got hired away to Illinois after that first semester. So they clearly had enough of a bond that they kept in touch for decades afterwards. And he really became a mentor for him on the coaching side, simply based on that one semester. And so for Dylan, there's a lot of emotion there of wanting to feel wanted, wanting to feel like his father would be proud that he's his son. Sherman, the emotions are a little different because, first of all, he married his his college sweetheart. He has adult children when he finds out about this. And he is this extremely upstanding man of faith who has lived his life in a particular way where he's teaching all of his players how to be a man, how to be responsible, all this other stuff. And at first he feels very much like it's a reflection on him that he wasn't responsible for this, even though he didn't know, that his actions still led to something that made really hard decisions for Dylan's birth mom. Everybody else around him was affected by his decisions, and he didn't feel it, right? And eventually it's this, how do I center this boy, this man now, who needs this, instead of centering myself in the way it makes me feel about the things that I might have done. And there's a lot to this book after the reveal, because now you have a bunch of people who are trying to make this extended family work and to understand all the roles that they have. And yeah, there's a lot of emotion from both of them. And there is regret that they could have known and had this, but there's also tremendous joy that they somehow found each other and had the last however many decades being in each other's lives in a meaningful way, even without knowing that it was as a father-son.
Sarah, when you agreed to do the interview with us, I finally got over the fact you picked Michigan when you were doing your football fan stuff, doing on different schools, and
well, you're better than my friends from Ohio State. They still haven't forgiven me.
I was going to say August 30th is a big game here at the Horseshoe. You ought to make your way out here, and maybe we can sway you, we can woo you somehow to give up on Michigan stuff.
You did a great job last time. I'll tell you what, I had certain feelings about Ohio State, mainly just because of some of the coaches you have had. That's really it. And then the way you guys say the Ohio State, I'm like,
very
great,
pretentious, yes.
Great. But my friend who played soccer there took me out there. We had a great meal. We went out. We went to the bars. It was such a different scene from Cornell because, like, alumni don't come back every weekend because there's not these big events. You know what I mean? It's not the case where the bar is like a freshman standing next to a 65-year-old taking shots. Like, it was really fun. But the most fun part was that the equipment manager for my friend, when she played soccer there, still worked there. And so he took us to the locker room, the football locker room. We did Jell-O shots in the locker room before the football game. I got the inside scene. I tailgated with all the old, like, it was a blast. You guys, you showed me a good time. I don't know. I don't know why. I was born in Ohio too. You'd think I'd feel some sort of tie, but I think it's just I grew up in a super prep-tastic town, and I think, the Michigan khakis, something in my childhood.
My first time being introduced to you was on Around the Horn. I know that show just wrapped up their long run. I'm curious what that show meant to you and the appearances, how much that did for your career, but also just what it meant for you personally.
Oh my gosh, everything. My favorite job ever. And I think everybody who went on in the last few weeks or posted about it talked about how it changed their career, because being on TV is a whole different ballgame. And being on a show like that was on everywhere. It was so funny when I would hear from friends who don't care about sports at all. And I'd be like, all right, where are you? The gym, the airport, are you at a bar? Like, people who would never choose to watch, and they'd be like, oh my God, you actually are on TV. I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's tremendous for my career. Also, I think, as a woman in this business, there's a lot of people who assume that you don't actually know your stuff, or everything's scripted, or you're reading off a teleprompter, yada, yada, yada. And that show was so quick, and there was so much back and forth and, callbacks to jokes and references that it became quite clear that the people on there needed to know their stuff, needed to be quick, needed to react. And so that did a lot for just letting people know that I was the real deal. And then it's kind of, you guys know this, and I hope for your sake, the show that you do and the place that you're in is supportive and friendly and all those other things. But a lot of spaces in this business are really competitive. They aren't particularly supportive or kind. Everybody's out for themselves, trying to make sure that they get on, I win the argument, or I get the next promotion or the next job or whatever. And Tony and Aaron Solomon and Josh Bard and all the folks over there, Eric Rydholm, really created a space where somehow it was an actual game show, but it was not competitive in that way. It was all about making everybody look good and, having fun with the competitiveness of it all and being super supportive. And so much of that comes from Tony's combination of encyclopedic sports knowledge, where somehow he knew more than all the panelists every single day because he never stops. He's a machine. And then also his ability to remember who says what or likes which team or said what 3 weeks ago and call them out on it and take away points if they change their mind and all of that. So, it was really special. It was a blast.
She's Sarah Spain, runs in the family, an incredible true story of football, fatherhood, and belonging. That'll be hitting the shelves today. I say hitting the shelves. That makes you sound old. You can order it, I'm sure, online and do it that way as well.
Ebook, audiobook, and hardcovers. So, the old folks and the modern folks.
There we go. All of that. And she'll be here August 30th now, from what I can gather from what she said. So we can always count on that, Sarah. Hey, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Everybody go get the book, please.
That was awesome. Sarah Spain was great. Appreciate all of that. Thank you for joining us. We did it yesterday with the interview there. The old guy comment about hitting the shelves, and Bobby made fun of me with that afterwards as well, Bobby. That's okay. Coming up next, quick hitters. Morning Juice on the Fan.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
If you're looking for the inside scoop on the Buckeyes, you've come to the right place. This is Morning Juice.
It is Morning Juice. Tito, Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Bobby, it is Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Does that sound accurate to you?
It's Tuesday, which means it's an appetizer Tuesday. And the featured appetizer at Roosters, well, it's going to be $3 all day long. That featured appetizer today, well, they're crispy, breaded on the outside, gooey and cheesy on the inside, served with warm homemade marinara sauce. It is the 5-tool player. It is the Mott Stick, and they're $3 all day long at Roosters. And you know what? If you're hanging out here in about an hour, we're going to give you away a $50 gift card if you can answer one of the questions that we cook up.
Do you have an idea? Are we going to wait till Schlegel to figure out what that is, or do you have something in mind already?
You just kind of figure it out as you go.
Let's do this. Oh, Shark.
Falling down.
Shark.
Well, I had to pot down the rooster. I know. Pot back.
I
just I'm busy over here.
Lots of pot over there.
You got a lot going on.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
Wife got home last night, Shark, from Dallas, so
Yeah, I'm listening.
No, but you're not talking.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
I slept better last night.
With your wife in bed with you?
No, the wife, 2 kids, and 2 dogs. Yes, it was fantastic.
All 5 of you were in one bed?
Yes, it was 6, but that's fine. 2 dogs, 2 kids. Go ahead.
2 dogs. Oh. 25 years ago, it would not have surprised anybody if the NFL had put a team permanently in London. Albert Breer once told us that those plans kind of disappeared when the Concorde went away because
Bringing it back.
Back then, you could fly from New York to London in 3.5 hours. It was faster to fly to London than it was to fly to L.A. But the NFL has always had a desire to be in an international league, and now, according to Mike Florio, the NFL Players Association is preparing for the league to eventually make a push for a 4-team European division. But will players want to move to London or Germany or Spain? There are issues with taxation, cost of living, language barrier, on and on. It's still a long way off, Bobby, but is having a Euro division in the NFL doable?
I think it is, but like you said, they're going to have to do some things with the cap. There's cost of living. There's going to be currency risk as you deal with all of that. And the fact that, probably not a lot of guys want to go live over there. I mean, the problem is, it sounds great in theory, but it's not just the season. Are you going to move back there for the off season to train? What does your family do? And it's not like, hey, you get a weekend off, long weekend. You can just hop on a plane and fly to wherever you need to go to.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of travel that would be incurred with this. And so I think it is a possibility. I think they can get this done. I think it would grow the game, and there's certain markets over there in Europe that would be very probably hospitable for this. However, they're there's going to have to be serious concessions made for the teams of the players that are over there.
That's the thing, Bobby. Is would it be 4 expansion teams, or would 4 teams move?
A 36-team NFL.
That's really a great question.
That's the thing I'd wonder about is if they would do that. If they would take 4 current teams and move them there.
The Bengals can't get that stadium done.
Look, London Bengals, right? And
Jacksonville.
Yes, Goodell's talked about the fact London could support 2 teams, he believes. England could have 2 teams over there.
That's what they want, is to go from none to 2.
Right. But
that's what they did to L.A., and then they went from 2 to none.
And mention the story, too, Bobby, that think about it. If you're somebody, we saw Will Howard, how excited he was. He was like, when Steelers came up, please pick me, please pick me, please pick me, to the Steelers. Could you imagine if you're Will Howard, please pick me, please? Frankfurt takes Will Howard. Like, that kind of thing.
It would be more in Germany. Germany's the big European country that loves American football.
I'm not in favor of this, Bobby. I'm not in favor of it.
Here's the good news. I don't think they're asking you that.
Yeah, you don't have to attend OTAs.
Here, so what are your thoughts on it?
Listen, I still don't, Bobby. And if it get off my lawn, it's get off my lawn. I don't know why we have to go over there anyway. You want to watch us and love us and all that stuff, fine. You've got satellite, do it. But we're fine here. I don't think any player. You've never said a good thing about your London experience.
Yeah, food sucks. I
That's what I'm saying.
I listened to this Bill Burr monologue. He goes, I don't know how a country so close to France and Italy can have such crappy food. So, can you please explain that to me?
Like, Bobby, I'm saying it's like you've never said you've had experiences in London. You've never said,
because they go heavy in the pubs. The pub scene is good. The bars are
that's
bad.
why I'm saying, let's say you're Joe NFL guy, okay? You're Joe NFL guy.
Yeah.
And you have nothing positive to say about being in London. Why would
Marshawn Lynch didn't have anything positive to say about being in Buffalo, but they got a team there.
Buffalo's like London, though. It's a lot like
That's
London.
what they call it, the Buffalo, the London of the
Buffalo's
Northeast.
the London of the West. We're west of London, right?
Yes.
Okay, then I got it right then. Okay, we are
fish
west
and
of
chips at the training table.
Right, fish and chips and wings. That's the other thing people never mention. Go ahead, Shark. I don't know what that. Did I say no? I said no.
LeBron, what do you want me to go or not?
Yeah, I'm saying no on Europe.
Okay, LeBron James.
Sure.
Not happy
LeBron
with
James.
the current state of youth sports, and he's certainly not happy with where it's headed. Kids used to play multiple sports, but now are encouraged to specialize in a single sport with year-round participation. LeBron appeared on a podcast with Luka Doncic and Steve Nash and said that it's leading to physical and mental burnout. James himself was a 2-sport star in high school, also playing football, and says he makes sure that his 3 kids always take a break because sports should be fun, not a year-round thing. Tito, make sure Artie's having fun and playing multiple sports.
Soccer, flag football, basketball, yes. But to hear LeBron talk about burnout, the dude's played like 22 years, whatever's the NBA, 20 years in the NBA, not to mention his AAU travel schedule on like national stage from his freshman year. If that's not burnout, I don't know what is. So him saying watch out your kids for burnout is akin to Amy Winehouse saying don't do drugs.
I mean, they talk about that burnout. We used to talk about that being people that did drugs.
The burnout thing, you're right. Yes, they were burnouts.
Now, here's the thing. When you get to high school, like you determine kind of what you love and what you want to work at. I don't know if you're getting burned out as much in high school. It's when you're in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade. You start getting into 8th, 9th, 10th. Like you start kind of tightening the funnel. And this is coming from someone like I played multiple sports growing up. My kids play the pantheon of anything that's out there. And as they get into middle school and high school, it's like, okay, pick your couple that you like the most, and this is what we're going to do. And that's what LeBron did. And listen, he was flying around. He was doing all this. He does it with his kids. Like, if you get into high school, I don't have a problem with it. But it's mostly that I have to listen to someone tell me that a second grader needs to practice this more or can't go to this sport because they have to be in this one or they're going to fall behind. I'm like, listen, man, I've watched these kids run. I can tell you right now who of them have a chance to play college athletics and who don't. And it's not going to be based upon how much they're playing as a second grader. I'll tell you that right now.
As an unbiased, this has nothing personal to do with me. Does Artie have a chance?
Your son runs well. Number one, you've got to be able to run. That's how my wife gets mad when in my evaluation, I'm like, the kid can't run. She's like, no, he's not fast. I'm like, Well, that's what they say. If you can't run well enough.
Have I told you
everybody can run, I guess, to their own extent, but I'm like, can you move? Can you run? Like
Travis Hafner once hit for the cycle. Bob, when did you give up swimming?
I swam my senior year in high school.
You did?
No, I played basketball a lot, and I stopped playing basketball after my sophomore year. And then my junior year, I broke my leg, and my senior year, I was going to go back to basketball. And the way that they wanted me to do so much with the team and like with coaching, I'm trying to take visits and everything else. I was like, I'd rather. And the swim coach made me a great deal. Like, hey, these are the practices we need you at. This is what we need you to do, so you can still lift and do the things you want to do and other stuff. I'm like, all right, well then we'll be good.
Did you attend basketball practice in October when football?
No, never.
Okay.
I mean, you were never playing another sport.
So you waited till the season ended.
Yeah, like my oldest son, he swims. Like, dude, swimming is something that you have to do like borderline year round. It's like the last couple weeks of football, I was like, dude, you need to probably get at least 2 practices in the morning so that you can kind of hit the ground running when swimming starts. And so he would do that. But your sport in season always takes precedent.
Did I tell you my Artie and Caleb story with running?
Uh-uh.
Okay, so we're at soccer. Artie, my son, Caleb, Bobby's son, same age, plays sports together, different points. Anyway, they're running sprints, okay? They're out there running sprints during practice for soccer. And Artie's barometer is like, I want to beat Caleb. Now, Caleb don't want to beat everybody. Artie's like, I want to beat Caleb because he knows if he beats Caleb, he's probably going to be in first. They're lining up. They go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And they're lining up on the line for one of the last ones. And there's a group of second grade cheerleaders over in kind of the corner.
Sounds nice.
But are around. Don't, Bobby. They're over there. Caleb looks over to the one girl. I'm not sure what the girl's name was. And Caleb tells her, hey, watch this. I'm going to smoke these guys. And then Caleb and Artie go at it all the way down. I love the confidence.
Oh, he's ridiculous. He's the most Pollyanna kid you'll ever find. I mean, it's
it was
wild.
fantastic. He looks over at them and says, hey, watch this. I'm going to smoke these guys. And then, and Artie and Caleb, they go at it. Caleb ended up winning the race, but Artie was, I think, in second or maybe third. But anyway, it was fun to watch that. All right, coming up next, look, this is a great way to transition. Confidence, cockiness, manhood. Schlegs, next. Morning Juice.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I.
And then we brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
hope means walking this path together. All of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Bobby's knees hurt from doing battle with some of football's toughest warriors. Tito's knees hurt from begging Bobby to let him host this show.
Oh, pick me! Oh, I know, me!
This is Morning Juice.
If you see me differently on the YouTubes, because I just had the truck backed up over me by Shark a couple of times, blaming me for us being late coming to our man, Anthony Schlegel.
The best way to start a morning is with a heavy dose of iron. Gas station ready, always. It is Schleg Day.
Anthony Schlegel joins us now. We got to get him on camera at some point, Bobby. Because we have the capability now. We could get him on camera. We got to do it at some point. Schlegs, good morning. I don't know. Look, every time after we finish a segment with you, the next week is spent with, oh my God, Tito, you're whatever, you're this, you're negative things, and you've got to ask Schlegs about this. You killed pigs, and I got to ask you what a blue cat is.
A blue cat? It's a catfish, Tito.
It's blue?
Wouldn't say it. Yeah, there's blue cat, there's channel cat, there's all sorts of catfish. What the Sam Dickens, man? I mean, you got rug burns on your knees from begging Bobby to be on this show? You don't know what a blue cat is?
Look, I thought a blue cat was a truck. Like a dump truck or like a digger thing.
A digger thing.
I mean, you know what, though? At least, because there's caterpillar, right?
There we go.
You see, like, cat.
Yeah.
And you made some type of assertion that a blue cat was maybe, even though their entire brain is black and yellow, that they somehow have like this mythological blue cat that only does like the heavy duty jobs. That's like the one. Now they have Hellcats. That's a Dodge. But anyways, now I digress. And that's what people ask you to ask me.
Yes.
You should ask, oh well.
Okay, wait. Okay, how's a blue cat different than a channel cat? Is one bigger? Is one a bigger catch? Is one a bigger deal?
Ooh. Yeah, channel cat are smaller. Like, we used to go out and go jug line fishing or trolling for striper bass, and we hit up these little channels, and we would like chum, like throw out this chum for them, but it was like a catfish mix that my buddy Chad Hackler made with like some soiled oats. Like he had a little concoction. And then he would throw it out there, and then we would go fish, and then we'd come back and catch a bunch of channel cat. And so, yes, blue cat, they're deeper water, which we would catch on jug lines, which was super fun. When you like set out jug lines and then go bass fishing, and then come back, and all of a sudden this jug is like 30 yards away from the jug line. You're like, you got something. Anyways, it was good. And side nugget, we've been trapping critters down here. It's been an adventure. We got Jay Hooten's boys down at the farm. We got my son and buddy down at the farm. Kids are driving four-wheelers.
What type of critters are we catching, Schlegs?
Critters is big.
we catch them all, man. I'm not going to talk about
Pokemon.
No, there's no mythological creatures that are being caught.
Chupacabras?
No, that would be amazing.
Those are Mexican big ones?
Yeah, see,
capybaras.
You know what one of those are?
Yeah, my daughter did a project on them a long time ago.
Chupacabras?
No, Go ahead. I'm sorry. Capybaras? Chupacabras?
Capybaras. What?
I dated Kathy
How
Barbers.
about jackalopes? How about jackalopes?
Exactly.
You got any jackalopes? I mean, honestly, they could have made it with a deer somehow. I mean, I got all this like protein and all this mineral lick spots. Who knows, man? Everybody's starting to grow antlers. You never know.
It's everybody. I like that. It's off season now. Like we're out of school. What's the training season? What's the training scene like over at the Armory now that everybody's out of school and we're in there all day long?
It's good. Yeah, I mean, lots of kids. It's one of those things where parents and like schedules, like you got to get the schedules in so you can, when you try to customize everything because kids play like a lot of, they're also playing summer sports. You got to have stuff in so you can make it to where it's appropriate for that individual one while keeping it in a group setting. But it's been really good. Jay does a phenomenal job at it. Obviously our boys, Bob, they went to the UA football camp. Jay's boys are there. They're actually staying the night at the farm. So that was fun. They got to go back up there today. But, yeah, the armory scene's great. We got great members there, and they're getting bumpy right now in the morning. So, that's what you want. People just trying to get better one day at a time. Consistent work works.
Multiple sports. We heard LeBron talking about that and mentioning that kids need to play multiple sports and not be specialized in one.
Yes.
You were wrestling. You were football. Were you another sport too? Baseball also. And you think that is like, do you encourage that? That's the way to go for people that are the youngsters growing up still, play multiple sports.
I mean, Bob, let's call it what it is, right? Like we're 1% of 1%ers when it comes to like the reality of the situation of being able to go play football, not only in college, but in the NFL. And I think all these parents do a disservice to their children, because they just stick them in this stuff. They don't train. They think that specialization is the key to success, but they can be really good at that one sport, but they play another sport. They got to learn how to put work into that sport. And I guarantee you there's a ton of crossover into the sports. And it makes them a better teammate. It makes them have to be a better leader. Not all sports are the same. Lacrosse kids, football kids, baseball kids, wrestling kids, they're all different. Volleyball, it doesn't matter. Volleyball, softball, track, golf, they're all different. They all require a different teammate, different, I won't even say personality, but I would say mindset and focus on, because of the sport, there's some other things that have to take precedence. So I just think playing multiple sports allows you to not only become potentially better athletically, but I think it makes you a better teammate, and it makes you a better person. That's what, I did them through high school. Now, I will say my oldest, and then our part of our thing was he didn't play another sport. He wanted to play football. He didn't want to train with me. And I was like, that was the only way he could play. But he enjoys golfing and enjoys fishing. So I was like, you have to have an off season in some capacity doing something else. I wish he would have played another sport, but he didn't. Now then, Sam, what does Sam do?
Who's you asking us?
I don't know what Sam does. I'll be honest with you.
I'm thinking to myself.
I stopped following him on social media.
No, but like Sam plays football and golf, right? And he likes shooting guns. Like you got to have, but he plays golf. So that's a completely different mindset than that of football. But it's good. You got to go and learn how to, have integrity and pull your ball down like the marker and fix the divot and not walk in that dude's line and when to hit and turn and how to communicate. It's great. That's the point, guys. That's the point. Because everybody's all the parents think that their kid is just going to go and do some things. Like, let the kid enjoy what he's doing. I would say this, side nugget. My dad had a great saying. He's like, when we're in season, we're in that season. That's the point. Too many times, like, hey, man, it's lacrosse season, and I got a kid, you have a kid that's also doing other stuff, right? And it's like, let's just say he's wrestling and lacrosse at the same time. It's like, no, pick one. You can't be good at both. In what's in the moment. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Hopefully it does. Like I don't get it, but I left football in November, and I didn't wrestle at all. I didn't go to practice. Bump those guys. I'm trying to go to the state playoffs and win a state championship. Why am I going to go over there and practice with them and burn calories that I need? That's stupid. Well, then as soon as I took like 5 days, I was in the wrestling mode, and it was all about wrestling. It was staying after, it was doing extra shots, it was getting in the flow. And then, let's go win a state championship. Well, we did that, And I tell my kids, too. I won 2 state titles in Texas as a team. I won 1 individually. But, those are great memories. And if I would have been focused on other sports, who knows what would have happened? I just don't get it. But anyways, what else is going on? College football, what's happening over there? What's happening with the Buckeyes?
I don't know, Schlegs. I mean, you're Captain Buckeye over here. What's the off-season training look like right now for them, and what are they getting into?
They're getting super juicy right now.
How are they finding the leaders, Schlegs? Where are they developing these leaders to take over for all the guys that left?
Yeah. Mick does. Honestly, if there's one thing, Mick does a phenomenal job at building the team and putting guys in a position to lead and to see where they are and like work through that process with them. But they're getting strong. They're running. They got time. I mean, we're in June, so you got June. Let's see, 1 week, 2 weeks. You got about 4 more weeks. They've already been going for about 2. So you got about 4 more weeks of this block. Then you're going to have 4th of July week off, and then they'll come back for 3 weeks. Then a 5-day break, and then we're in camp, guys. I mean, I was walking in the Woody the other day. I had to drop off some stuff for the striking machines because they're getting some force plates on them. Boom, Buckeyes. And I was in there, and I was giving Jay's boys and Sam, his friend Austin, a tour just real quick, and it was amazing. So, but there's the 179 days till we play Michigan, and then it was funny because it was like, hey, did JJ sit on this bench? I was like, out there in the indoor, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, this was a ball that JJ probably caught, right? But it wasn't a ball; it was like a tennis ball. I was like, you know what? It probably was. It's probably in the bag, And I was like, yeah. And he sat on that bench over there, just butt naked. Like that was part of his deal. He would come over there and just spread his butt cheeks all over that deal.
Yeah.
Just like soak that in. Let me take a picture of you.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Nice.
Right? You're just joking with stuff. Oh, side note, I saw Caden. Caden looks fantastic. He's like 260. He looks good, man.
That'd be Caden Curry for the folks out there who don't know.
And it's radio's the theater of the mind. Oh, and side nugget.
I'm already thinking about the cheeks on the bench. That's really working my mind.
We need a moment to process that before you move on with the side nugget.
About it, could you imagine? I mean, Bob, you go in there. Heck, you still go. You mow in your skivvies and then go sit down on those benches inside the Woody. You know what I mean? Like, and you're in your skivvies. Like, what's really separating you besides a thin layer of spandex? I mean, it might as well be the real thing. It might as well be the real thing. I mean, you're leaving nothing to the imagination when you're out there mowing your yard in UA and just the doomajigs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly, give the people what they want, but it's the facts, right? So, anyways, it was fantastic. I took some pictures of them and stuff, and then Coach Mick gave me my championship ring, so that was very, very nice.
So you did qualify for that coaching in the off season.
I mean, he qualified me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He said you're good.
Yeah, he said I was good. It was him, So kudos. I was like, I appreciate it. It was a great time, helping out great people, great friends, and be able around those guys, be able to be around that group of young men, and again, watching the work that they put in. Right, and going back and, is there anything you would have done different? Whether it's the off, that's what coaches do. Just so everybody knows, coaches don't think, oh, we won a national championship, like repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. Like that's not how it works. Because what we've alluded to, Bob, so many times, every team is different. They all need different things. The physical maturation of a team is different. What does each individual guy need? This season as opposed to last season, it all varies, man. And Mick and his staff does a great job. I was going to see AT and Higgs and KP and Luke. They got a bunch of interns in there now, so God bless them.
What if I told you that IGB called Higgs a counterfeit Big Show?
Yeah, I asked him that.
What did he say?
He said it was amazing. He's like, that was a great comeback.
Yeah, Davison is one of the best crap talkers around, man. And when he dropped that, I was like, dude, I can't even be mad at it. It's like I had to laugh at it. It was so good.
Yeah, and I don't even know what he was getting on him about. You know what I mean? Like, in the moment, you're just...
I don't know, Schlegs, you just randomly yell at guys in there. That's all you guys do as strength coaches. Create chaos.
That's a false.
Create chaos, Schlegs.
That of just like randomly yelling at guys is false. I intentionally yell at you. You intentionally yell randomness at people then.
All right, Schlegel, let's go deep here. Let's go deep here.
Oh,
okay, we'll get you out of this. Listen,
Tito?
I want you to think about, go back to your youth football days, youth athletics days, all the way until today. Now, some people, they kill a deer, they put the head up there on the mantle or something, they get it mounted, all this kind of stuff, or they'll put it up there, you'll see it. If there is one person you went against in any sport that you could put their head on your mantle, you hit them, hit a home run off of them, pin them. I don't care how far back. It could be a completely random name. But anybody, practice, game, whatever, you could put their head on your mantle. Who would it be?
I played against them, right? I had to play.
You played or practice against them. Somebody like that guy's a jerk, I drilled him. Or this guy's a jerk, I homered off him, or whatever.
Now you're making it personal.
Yeah, of course it's personal.
I never took anything. It's not personal with these animals.
No, with them. I'm not talking about the animals, but I'm talking about somebody you hit in practice.
What was that show? I was watching? It wasn't personal. I was watching a movie, and
Cannonball Run.
Oh, no. I don't know why it was randomly on one night. It was Thanos. He was conquering and all the bloodshed. It wasn't personal. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Anyway, that's what just reminded me of that. Let's see if there is anybody I first off, I never competed against somebody that I was like, oh, what a douche. I probably did say that guy's a douchebag, but not to where I would want to put them on any type of mantle whatsoever. I would say though, man,
you got a good taxidermy guy up here, Schlegs?
I do.
Will he do a human?
Tito. Yeah, Tito.
Yeah.
Well, no, because when Shark passed away,
I ran over a squirrel once.
I want to get Shark taxidermied and just have him hanging out all the time.
You know what? Shark would be a perfect. First off, guys, Shark's the best. I miss you, Shark. Even in the studio, Bob and Beam are great. Now Tito's over there and just doing his Tito stuff. But you're the secret sauce, buddy. Anyways, I digress. I'm still going back to this mantle. No, Shark reminds me of "Prop Me Up Next to the Jukebox" last night. You know that country song?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be him. I could see him doing that, as the DJ. Hey, there's Shark over there. Somebody, you could carry him around to events, concerts and stuff, and he's just behind there DJing it up, like McDizzle, but then there's Shark behind him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe with a glass and a thumbs up, on the glass. You know what I'm saying? Holding a cocktail with a thumbs up, he's ready to go. Birdie's you got some sunglasses on. You got that sweet slick back silver hair, Shark. It would be fantastic. But you got to, you couldn't be lip and stuff. They'd have to really taxidermy you. You know what I mean? Really the skeleton has to be plastic. And
you can't be limp.
Skin.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't be limp. That'd be terrible. Dragging that thing around. 190 pounds of just limp taxidermy shark. They have to get the inner skeleton. Anyways, anybody that I would put on my mantle, and my son doesn't believe me, but I asked my dad, and I hit a home run off of Kerry Woods at
Is he related to Kerry Wood?
No, Kerry Woods, the pitcher for the Cubs.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
It's from Grand Prairie, Texas.
It's not plural, though.
Pigs.
It was after Schlegs hit that dinger off of him.
He's not related to Joe Burrows, is he?
He went to Kroger's.
Yeah, Joe Burrows and Kerry Woods, man, they're friends.
You homered off of him?
Why wouldn't you make everything a plural?
Wait, you homered off of him, though,
just Kerry
Schlegs?
Wood and Joe Burrow? Okay, I'll stop calling him Joe Burrows. Anyways.
You homered off of Kerry Wood?
I did.
Wow.
Summer League Baseball. There
we go. So that's not
and I wouldn't put anybody on the mantle. I've never done anything good.
The Mount Rushmore of Highland Park.
Okay.
Clayton Kershaw, Matt Stafford, Scotty Scheffler, Anthony Schlegel.
Anthony Schlegels. Schlegs, we appreciate the time, brother. We will talk again next week, my man. Thanks so much.
Hey, you guys are so welcome. You guys have a great day. Go Bucks. Stay juicy.
There we go. That was Anthony Schlegel.
They had to move Doak Walker off of the
They had to move for Schlegel's.
For Schlegel's.
Doak went there too?
I think so. Because I brought that up, and he's like, I think Doak might got me beat. I'm like, no, he doesn't. You're in there. You, Scheffler, Kershaw, Stafford. Those just
and
the
they
greats.
were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
Maybe I was listening to the golf channel on Sirius XM, and they talked about them. Scheffler going to the same high school as Kershaw.
That's amazing.
And
Gary Woods.
Stafford, but they didn't mention Schlegs. I was like, come on. He's
glaring oversight.
Famous enough.
Diebler's 2025 incoming class lost someone recently. He had a late arrival, though. This is Morning Juice with Shark, Carpenter, and Tito's. Next.
Lexi spent more than 6 years in foster care.
Before I was adopted, I felt alone.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Lexi now has a forever family and the foundation for a bright future.
Adoption changed me for the better. I feel like I can be whoever I want to be.
You can help find permanent homes for children still lingering in foster care. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Hi, this is Martina McBride. With online news, social media, and texting available 24/7, the world seems to be spinning faster and faster every day. And it can be overwhelming. Sometimes we just need to unplug and take a break from our electronic devices. It can help reduce stress and allow us to reflect on the things that are really important in our lives.
This message brought to you courtesy of the United States Air Force.
My muscles ached. I was tired all the time.
My son had a full-blown asthma attack. It came out of nowhere.
The unsettling thing about some symptoms is
I had a fever and these terrible headaches.
you don't always know what's causing them.
It was Lyme disease from a tick bite.
I had Zika virus from a mosquito.
He had a reaction to cockroach allergens.
Threats to your health can come from unexpected places. Get the facts. Visit pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
What's this? A letter from the Selective Service System? Not now. Hey, Steve, it's me, Future Steve. You're me? Yes, and you need to register with SSS or we won't get our dream job in 10 years. Save our future.
If you're a man aged 18 to 25, visit sss.gov to register today. It's required by law, and it can open the door to many benefits, like federal government jobs and training.
That was easy. Thanks, Steve.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun, and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Dangers rarely lie out in the open, so no matter where you live, it's important to know harmful pests can hide in and around your home.
Here I come!
Rodents and cockroaches are drawn to food waste and garbage.
I know you're out here.
Ticks lurk in tall grasses, and mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water.
I can hear you.
Rodents, ticks, and mosquitoes can all spread dangerous diseases.
I gotcha.
Seek the facts you need at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
Bobby is the all-American male. Tito pulled a hammy getting his mail. This is Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. Tito, Carp, and Shark with you. Might get fined for that one. Shark.
He's so funny.
Listen.
He doesn't intend to be funny, but he
That's
is.
the best part about him.
That's him.
Is he's unintentionally funny. I say this, he's entertaining.
Yeah.
Like
He's called me Tito 1,000 times, and
Then
for
he
whatever
called
you
you
changed
Tito.
Tito today. And by the way, he'd be great on a radio show. Like in this time slot,
The thing
as
is,
like the third guy.
the thing is with Schlegs, it's very concentrated. So 3 hours, you kind of dilute it. You want him all balled up into like a segment or two. And then also for 3 hours, because we do our YouTube show together, and there are days that it's like me chasing a cat in the backyard trying to run. I mean, Shark, I'm like, listen, man, you got like 2 minutes, and he'll talk for 7, and it's like, come on, man, like let's get it together.
Years ago, Bobby. By years, I mean probably 2 or 3. I heard Schlegel on some other national show previewing college football, and it was so buttoned up and professional. I thought it was somebody else doing it.
Oh, he can keep it together.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I heard it, I was like, wait, that's not the Schlegel I know. And I'm not saying he's not genuine, because I think that what we get is a genuine Schlegel. But he can certainly, though, turn it off, though, and be, which is amazing to me. Because if you look at, like, if you listen to him with us and how we've listened on Morning Juice with you and Beam for years, it was completely what I heard on this national show. Good for him to be able to do that. I couldn't pull that off, but
nobody wants that, though.
I know. No, I'm with you. No, this is the best. No, I'm with you. Nope.
Who wants to see like Mick Jagger in a suit? You want to see him up there running around like a wild man.
Yes, you do, with an American flag or something like that on him in the Tattoo U tour, 82, I think it was, Shark. You would know that.
Wasn't alive then.
Shut up. The Buckeyes recently lost. I shouldn't say lost. There was a 2025 recruit that from here in Ohio, from up north there, Dorian Jones, who was supposed to be here. He went. He committed to Ohio State in July 2024, and he announced recently he is not going to enroll this year in college. He's going to take a
gap year.
He's not going to backpack around Europe.
That's what he said. They said
I know it's a gap year,
they said.
But he's not going to do the tour of the backpack Europe thing like people used to do.
I do the research. It said gap year in the release.
And so he just said he wants to wait before going to college. So he might go to like a JUCO or something like that, or some kind of prep school. Whatever.
What does that even mean? Like,
honestly, Bobby, you expect me to know what that would mean? I don't know. Apparently, it's
academic related. Let's just say it.
Is it academic related?
Yeah.
Is that confirmed that it's that?
Yeah,
what it is?
I don't know if it's confirmed, but that's
okay.
The word on the street is that he had some academic issues. He's graduated from high school,
right?
So it's not like he's going back. Well, I mean, some guys graduate early and go to college, but that's not this case.
So, in the spite of NIL and everything, because there was an issue that Ohio State had this with one of their football players who had left a couple years ago. And someone's like, well, why would he leave? I'm like, well, I think academically. And people are like, that's still a thing? Yeah. Like, of all this stuff, they're like, academics? You're telling me someone would have, like, qualification issues or whatever? Like, we're paying these guys, we're doing all this, and we're getting caught up because you got a D+ in math or whatever it is?
I heard Brian Kelly say, I think it was Brian Kelly, irresponsible by me, a prominent college football coach said, there are times when, like, you're paying $20,000 a month to a kid who's committed already.
Yeah.
To not decommit. Like you're saying, hey, you're committed, okay. I know we've got 6 months before you're going to actually sign.
Yeah.
We're going to pay you $20,000 a month.
It may have been Kirby Smart that said that.
Could have been it might be Kirby Smart. I can't. He and Brian Kelly. Now, see, it's going to sound bad if I say it. I can't tell apart. Anyway, just by the rings. Just by the rings. Maybe that's what the difference is between the two. But yes, it was one of those. It was some
Kirby Smart has an actual Southern accent.
It was some overpaid white football coach. Okay, let's just put it that way.
Kirby's won 2 national titles.
Yeah, what have you done for me lately? You know, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
What have you done?
I'm just saying, though, has he won one lately? No. Big Ten's been dominating. Cheating, but dominating. At least one of them did. Nonetheless, what I'm saying is, though, that's amazing to me, Bobby, that I can't imagine when I went to Brookhaven and a kid commits and is getting $20,000 a month, how cool that would be to be that guy's friend in high school as a junior. To be a guy getting $20,000 a month. I mean, we'd be listening to Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock and rolling in a brand new Chevy Cavalier.
Yeah.
Maybe like, convertible.
You'd be like Schlegel. So he used to have this teal IROC Camaro.
Did he really?
Oh, it was sweet.
With the T-top kind of thing?
Like the shutters on the back.
Yeah.
Had No Limit Soldiers on there. Oh, yeah. Him and his buddy Tubbsy had a matching green Silverado that had like ground effects and all kinds of stuff on it.
You know my biggest regret?
Oh, okay.
This could be another segment.
Oh, my God.
Another segment. This is a whole show.
Where is this going?
My biggest regret.
We got a few minutes. We only got a few minutes, so I didn't even get to the story about who Ohio State got.
They got Tyler Herro's brother.
There we go. That paid off on the T's on that one there. Now, String Bean can't complain.
Somewhere in Wisconsin.
Yes, Wisconsin. He's a no-star recruit. But
no, he's not. He's a 3-star.
No, he's not.
Is he?
Yes, he was a I'm sorry, he's unranked by 24/7 Sports. You're right, he's a 3-star. Number 40 point guard in the country. Don't do, of course I am.
Did you say number 40?
Number 40 point guard in the country.
So Tyler went to Kentucky, and he was a shooter, but this guy's a
shooter, too. He averaged 21.5 points, 5.9 rebounds, 4.7 assists as a senior in Whitnall. Not Whitehall, Whitnall.
Wisconsin.
Yes, Wisconsin.
What's his name?
It is Herro. Did you hear me say it?
What's his first name?
Miles.
Miles Herro.
Myles. Not Miles, Miles. Miles, M-Y. Miles Herro.
We don't need another hero.
We're excited about you, Miles. Now, that I never could dance. Now.
You and Phil Collins? Your
whatever.
Biggest regrets?
Listen, no. Back in my day, there was, before like people settled things with fists and weapons, you settled things with a dance-off. And you would see guys.
What kind of movie is this?
Is this the 80s? Are we talking about the 80s?
This is late 80s. Late 80s. Think about like
that's your day.
House Party, Kid and Play. Yes, that's fine. Yours was the 70s. I don't want to hear Mullet Boy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mullet Boy.
Well, there weren't mullets in
guys.
the 70s.
You would see guys, friends, really good friends, dance together. Go back and look at House Party with Kid and Play, and they would have dance routines. They did. Hip hop looked like it was totally off the cuff, but it was planned. And guys would like do really well dancing together against another group to decide winners. I wish I could have learned, and I wish I had a friend that close that we could do dances like that. That's my biggest regret.
All the things in your life.
Yes,
that's your biggest regret.
That's my one.
I prefer dancing with women. Actually.
No, I know. No, you danced against women though sometimes. Like in the House Party, Kid and Play, you would see Gina from Martin. You remember the show Martin?
I am familiar with Martin.
Okay, Gina, and she was with someone else dancing against Kid and Play, and they would do like the whole thing where they were hitting their feet against each other, and they would go underneath each other, kind of thing, and it was choreographed. I wish I was that cool back then.
Can you dance now?
No. And my wife we did a dance at the wedding. I'm sorry, my second wife.
Slow dance.
We did.
You can slow dance.
No, listen. Well, everyone can slow dance. We actually went to lessons, Shark. We went to a dance studio.
Arthur Murray?
No, it wasn't Arthur Murray, but it was like a 10-week thing. It was a 10-week thing where we learned a dance for Love, Love. The one that his daughter was also singing. They did a song together. Who were
Sinatra?
No, not Sinatra. It was an African American singer, and he and his daughter did a song later on after he died.
Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole.
Yes, I think it was a Nat King Cole Love, Love.
L is for the way you look at me.
That one. We had a whole routine done with that. Now I nailed it. It was great, but it was very intense. There was a lot of pressure on me in front of the people to do it. I'm sure I did. Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, look, I use powder down there, if that's what you're asking.
I was thinking about your underarms.
That too. Did you do a dance at your wedding? By the way, your wedding pictures are awesome.
When did you see my wedding pictures? Did you go through the album at the house?
No. Do you think I Google you?
Oh.
You got the man bun going on?
Yeah, I had the half pony deal.
Did you wear a suit or a tux?
It's a good question.
I think you had a tux on.
I think I had a tux on.
Powder blue?
No, it was black. She wouldn't even let me wear a white coat. So, yeah, but it was good. No, we didn't do any of that. Courtney she wasn't down with any of that.
You didn't do a dance?
No.
You wanted to do one?
I would have done it with a lot of different stuff.
Would you have done like one of those cheesy, where like you start off with a slow dance and then break into something bigger and surprises everybody? You would have done that.
It would have been great. My wife was a really good dancer. She took hip-hop dance at Ohio State.
She did?
Yeah, very good. She actually taught me some stuff. So anything that I know, it could be attributed to her, positive or negative, I guess.
But you would have done it. Shark, you didn't.
I can't dance.
I can't. Well, back then, though, you guys didn't do that.
Not those.
Either one.
Not those choreographed dances.
No, you didn't like that thing, yeah.
But I couldn't dance then, and I can't dance now. It's not the biggest regret in my life, though. I'm far from it.
Well, you never saw the Kid and Play movie House Party. If you saw it, you would think, you know what, I wish we would have done that.
Bob, did you get drunk at your wedding?
No, I was explicitly prohibited from that, and then my wife overserved herself. So there was the irony of all
You
of
were
it.
prohibited. She said you can't.
Not at all, but she's like, don't be a fool today.
Don't be that
Don't
guy.
be a menace to society.
Don't be that guy. And
That's also
I kept it between the lines. Like I've always done within reason, just about. I've got a pretty strong batting. I've got a pretty strong batting average. I mean, and occasionally I get outside of the box a little bit, but usually I can always keep it between the lines.
Yeah.
Just like I did that night. It was great. And she didn't eat all day, and so
that's a mistake.
I tell everybody, like when you're getting married, make sure that you eat because you're walking around, you're doing a million different things. The last thing you're thinking about is eating. And
do either of you have regrets about the way you did either you or me weddings?
She regretted the groom. She said.
Okay, first of all, we all got that.
That's her
No, I'm
biggest
saying,
regret.
like sometimes people say.
That was her biggest regret is who she was actually up there with.
No, there's no doubt about that. Yes, we've all had that, Bob. Are you kidding me? But I'm saying, like, you'll hear some people say, okay, my parents said I'll give you this much for the wedding, or I'll give you this in cash.
Yeah.
You go get married somewhere else. And a lot of people say, like, years later, I wish we would have taken the cash. So I'm saying, like, do you guys have any regrets about the way your weddings, like, do you, like, you know what? I wish we would have done this instead.
Well, I'm the only one here that's only done it once.
Okay, we don't have to, let's not get
so
personal.
I didn't get the second.
We've got 5 between the three of us.
You guys got a chance to learn on the second round.
Doesn't mean we learned, but go ahead.
I mean, I don't. Like, we got married.
Everything was good for you.
We got married at the Athenaeum. It was
nice.
It was like,
Athenaeum was beautiful. We got married. Reception Athenaeum, I think. Yes.
Yeah, we had a reception
there.
We got married at was it Holy Trinity Lutheran? Not Holy Trinity. It was down right by the Blockbuster, old Blockbuster on High Street. Athenaeum reception. It was about 400 people. I mean, it was a lot. My family's big, and I thought we handled everything very well. At that time, the Athenaeum didn't have a liquor license, which was very advantageous because my uncle owned a bar, and so we bought everything.
You brought it in, yeah.
Got to bring it all in, so it probably cost about a quarter of what it would have cost to do that otherwise. It was pretty enough, but wasn't like outlandish and over the top with flowers or everything. My parents and my in-laws did a ton of the work. And when they loaded up all of the, it was amazing. They loaded up all of the centerpieces and all the extra alcohol and beer. And my dad literally was sitting on the bed of his truck. They're driving through downtown because we stayed at the West End, and they were driving, like, just sitting there Saturday night at 12:30, and like he's literally on the tailgate as my brother. That's perfect. Or my father, I forget who was father-in-law, was like driving him back to the hotel to unload stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when Ahmad Rashad got married, his groomsmen were Cosby and OJ. There's a famous picture of that when Rashad married Felicia Rashad, Mrs. Cosby.
I guess there is one regret when you talk about that.
Okay, I was going to ask you.
My brother, who was my best man, was dating someone at the time who he insisted on having in like a lot of the family pictures.
Yeah.
My third brother, who his girlfriend, who is now his wife, wasn't because they were like in college, and so
it's too mature. There's no way. Not going to last.
She didn't make it,
right,
but
the
other lady did.
Okay,
and so Courtney was like, if we didn't have her in there, that'd be nice.
How about you, Shark? Any regrets on either of your 7 weddings?
2. I was married twice.
Oh, whatever.
My wife was married twice. So because we had both been married, we eloped.
Oh, there you go.
Good. That's the way. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Married,
yeah.
We got married in Hawaii. There were 5 of us. The wedding planner stood with Jan. The photographer stood with me. And then a guy named Rodney.
Oh, Rodney. What a great
Rodney
dude.
was
Dangerfield?
He was Hawaiian. He was Polynesian. And he sang the Hawaiian wedding song.
There's a Hawaiian wedding song?
He played on his ukulele.
There's a Hawaiian wedding song? I know that. Okay.
This is the moment of sweet surrender. I will. So we eloped. I know no family there. Second time.
That's fantastic.
First
I
time
love that story.
Yeah, let me do this.
Wow.
You hear the song, you know what it is. That means it's an Appetizer Tuesday. The featured appetizer is $3 all day long at Roosters. Today's featured appetizer is always the delicious Mott Stick, the 5-tool player. It is good, it is delicious, and it brings it home for you. And now you're going to get a chance to win a $50 gift card to Roosters if you can answer the question right. 614-821-1460 is the number. Schlegel was talking about playing some youth baseball and hitting a home run off this major league pitcher. And even referred to his name in the plural form.
Yes.
What was the plural form of that name? 614-821-1460. And it's get the Shark, and you'll get the $50.
Got to be the plural form. Cannot do, if you do singular, Shark is hanging up on you. It's got to be the plural form. We have standards here, regardless of what you might think after listening to the last 2 hours. Coming up next, Toby's got us juiced. This is Morning Juice.
Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a common seasonal virus, but it can have major implications on a patient's heart health. Most RSV cases involve mild cold-like symptoms, but up to 160,000 adults are hospitalized each year for more serious cases. And RSV can escalate chronic health issues. If you're over the age of 60, talk to your doctor to find out if the new RSV vaccine is right for you. And learn more at heart.org/RSV.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Okay, let's go. Top row.
EYECARE.
Good. Next row.
AM America? iCareAmerica.org?
Yes. I Care America helps seniors who haven't had a medical eye exam in 3 or more years. They also help those with an increased risk for glaucoma, and the appointment is often free or at no out-of-pocket cost. It's easy to see if you qualify. Go to EYECareAmerica.org.
Diane from Michigan, a disabled senior citizen trying to get by. Henry from Florida, a veteran fighting to make ends meet. Elena from Arizona, a mother struggling to feed her daughter. Hi, I'm Connie Britton, and I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year, like Diane, Henry, and Elena. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
As we wonder why our kids are struggling, someone is getting bullied. As we discuss how to improve their mental health, someone is being harassed on social media. As we wonder why they're skipping school, someone is crying themselves to sleep. Knowing the signs is the best way to prevent bullying.
Please just leave me alone.
Learn the signs at sandyhookpromise.org.
Yo, I'm your old basketball. Haven't seen you out on the courts in a while. Why not pass me over to Goodwill? Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. And that's a slam dunk. Donate today. Hey, I got next.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, please visit goodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
Attack and dominate, YouTubers. You're locked into Morning Juice.
All right, it's Morning Juice. It is Tito. It is Bobby. It is Shark with you. Marty Hilliard. Nailed it. Kerry Woods.
Marty from Hilliard.
Can't we just say Marty Hilliard?
His last name's not Hilliard.
That's the way you guys used to do it, though, didn't you? Didn't you guys used to say that on the old?
I thought it was Hillard.
Okay, Marty from Hilliard. I thought we always gave the last name. Maybe it's on a different show. I did.
We do.
No.
That's right.
We don't give
Some people
last
just
names.
say Marty Hilliard.
That's
Marty
what I thought
from
too.
Hilliard.
Okay, Marty from Hilliard. What's his last name? What's his
I'm
address?
not
What's his
saying
cell
his
phone
last
number?
name.
What's his
Not giving
social
that
security
either.
number?
Social Security.
All right. I'll play the open now, and then we'll get all the other stuff. By the way, he wins a $50 gift card to Roosters.
Knowing the Tiger's brother, Kerry Woods.
Kerry Woods.
Is who Schleich hit that home run off of. Allegedly, he's from Kerry Woods from Grand Prairie, and Schleich's from Highland Park.
Right.
Doak Walker also from Highland Park.
Yeah. Kerry, Texas. All right, here we go.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right. Just to clear up a couple things real quick, Bobby. Questions here in the chat. They want to know, did Courtney throw up on your wedding night?
She did not. But my dad did tell her after the wedding reception we had an after party. And my uncles and everything, we had a room reserved. I was actually at the bar called Spice down in the Arena District.
Oh,
and
that sounds classy.
my uncles went all down there. I mean, I joke about this.
Didn't they have two like Spice? Wasn't there two like? Wasn't
Sugar
one
and
next?
Spice.
Sugar and Spice. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we had like the side room, and I mean Brady was like Brady Quinn came. He showed up at the end of the wedding, and it's, ironically, he was there with Kellen Winslow, which the irony of that is
the younger one, the soldier.
Yes,
not the older one.
The one who's currently incarcerated.
Okay, I didn't want to say incarcerated, but yes,
that's what he is. I mean,
I
he's
know
in
he
prison
is, but I just
for some fairly nefarious acts.
Look, it deserved.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes.
Wait, he was there. Winslow was at your after party.
He came with Brady. They were playing for the Browns at the time.
He was a +1.
They didn't. So I go. The problem was we had no more seats that we could have. And I go, we're paying for all the alcohol. I'm like, dude, we'll be done eating by 7:30, 8 o'clock. Just show up at that point.
I don't know the timeline, so I'm trying to figure out. So, because
it was 2008.
Okay, Brady married AJ's sister.
AJ married Brady's sister.
Okay, so that would make sense. Okay.
AJ doesn't have any sisters.
Okay, sister-in-law. I can't keep track of you guys, Bobby.
That's
you guys
fine.
are all the
That's why
inbreeding and everything. I
just
can't figure it out.
gave you the details.
I got you.
Now you know.
I appreciate that. Emily said, and this is brilliant, by the way. This is the way to do it. She said last year with her daughter's boyfriend, they had him like on the end of the wedding pictures.
Yeah.
In case you, that right there is that's a cagey veteran move right there.
Yes, it is.
Whatever you're paying the photographer, say, hey, we're going to keep you for like 10 minutes extra because we got to make some adjustments. Because you never know.
You never know.
Now, my problem was I was the best man in 3 weddings. I don't talk to any of those people anymore. But I'm in their wedding albums as the best man. They can't cut me out.
I find that very interesting. Like that is
interesting
wild.
Or surprising?
Not surprising.
Okay, that's fine. It's okay. I'm okay with that.
You were the best man. Like my
in
brother
3 weddings. Well, one guy was for both of them.
He was the best man in like 4 or 5 weddings. And
is he in touch with all of them still?
Well, not currently, but he's there's extenuating circumstances with some of that, but he, all of my people in my wedding, I still have a good relationship with. I don't talk to them all on a regular basis, but everybody that was in there.
Okay.
And I had a huge wedding party, so.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If I am no longer in their lives and they chose me as their best man, is that more about them or me? It feels like bad choices by them.
Or it seems like you're someone that
maybe I evolved.
The more you get to know, the more someone gets to know you, maybe the less they actually like you.
Maybe the best man. They had to have known me, right? So it sounds like it's a them issue.
Yeah, maybe it is.
What's got you, Juice Shark?
Schlegs.
Just said they never care about how much you know till they know how much you care. That's number one. Are you competent in what you do? Are you an expert in your field? I don't give a crap what it is. But are you an expert in it, and then are you consistent? Are you the same way every swinging day?
Every swinging day, not every freaking day.
Hey, he was subdued today too. We didn't have to dump anything because we can't.
You know, I'm not always politically correct. Sometimes I still say Cleveland Indians and Washington Redskins. I'm not a tree hugger. Not that.
Oh wow! Here we go.
That's fine if you are. I don't. It doesn't bother me, but there are some grocery stores that have done away with plastic bags and gone back to paper, and they charge you for the paper bags. I saw this yesterday on Instagram, and it kind of put everything in perspective. It said, so let me get this straight. I go to the grocery store and buy a pound of sliced ham in a plastic bag, a loaf of bread in a plastic bag, a gallon of milk in a plastic jug, a package of napkins in plastic wrap, a store-made salad in a plastic tub, and a plastic bottle of mustard and ketchup. But they won't give me a plastic bag to carry at home because the plastic bag is bad for the environment.
Little virtue signaling there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And then what really has me juiced today is the interview you guys did with Sarah Spain. I didn't know the story about Sherman Smith and his biological son. So my daughter wants to know what I want for Father's Day, and that's what I'm going to tell her. I want that book. What's it called? Runs in the Family. Runs in the Family.
Yes.
All in the Family.
Yep, All in the Family.
It is called, Runs in the Family, an incredible story of football, fatherhood, and belonging on bookshelves.
There you go.
Now, today.
Now, right
Bob,
now.
what has you juiced?
We got enough time to play Jordan Peterson?
Sure.
Let's do it.
I do believe it's very hard for people to grow up if they don't have children. Because there are other ways of growing up. And the reason it's hard is because you are not mature until someone else clearly matters more than you do. And if you aren't narcissistic beyond redemption, that definitely happens to you when you have children. And then you're an adult. You can have the best relationship you've ever had with anyone in your life with your children. That's the promise of children. They love you. They will love you if you attend to them. The notion that children are somehow a burden, what are they interfering with? What have you got to do that's so important? What? You're going to drink 2,000 less 26s of vodka with your idiot friends at the bar. That's your brilliant alternative?
The ending to that was the best. It's like, what else do you got?
Because you're straddling the fence there, Bob. You're on both sides of that. Your kids have matured you like you wouldn't have been had you not had kids. Yeah. But then you're also that guy that does the vodka.
You have to do them both, and it's really hard to live in both of those worlds, Shark.
You got to have balance in
but
life.
You do, and I listen to that, and there's times where I've wanted to strangle all of my kids individually. I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of good things that they bring to the table there. So I heard that. I was like, that's a nice little nugget. Yeah, and Cullen was really good. We had a very mature conversation last night with him, so I really appreciated that out of him.
Did you learn from Cullen? Because I bet you did, because Cullen's a gem. Go ahead.
Well, there's just, you can have a rational conversation with him, and for him being a 12-year-old, that's pretty nice. And yeah, and so, but seeing that, it's a great point. I try to remind myself of that, especially when I'm dealing with things with my wonderful teenage daughter. What's got you juiced, though?
That's fantastic.
That's
yes,
great.
it's going to be a lot of fun for me. Anyway, what's got me juiced? Look, the Sarah Spain interview, Shark brought it up. I thought it was great. Loved having her on. I like having things like that. We have a lot of fun, but getting some serious topics once in a while is always something I enjoy, and she's got that great book. Go out there and check it out. I guess what else has got me juiced is learning here about Shark's his second wedding. I had no idea it was a destination wedding. It explains why I wasn't invited, but
not really. A destination wedding is where you also take family and everybody with you. It was just the two of us.
No, I think if you go somewhere and say, "Hey," but did you say to your family, "Hey, we're going here to get married"?
It's called eloping.
I know you elope. I'm saying, did you tell anybody like, "Hey, we're going here if you want to come out"?
Tell family.
Okay,
now,
that's destination wedding.
My coworkers at the radio station, I sent them a postcard.
Okay,
and I said on Saturday we went on a whale watch. We went scuba diving. We got married. We did, like.
List of the activities.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they were like, is he serious or not?
I got you.
I was serious.
That's good for you.
35 years ago.
Has it been that long?
35.
Good for you, Shark. Great show today, boys. Thank you so much. Thank you to Sarah Spain. Thank you to Schlegs, as always. It's always a treat having Schlegs on and learning. And Shark, I just now realized that's not a Chargers shirt you're wearing. That's an Olentangy shirt, right?
Where my grandkids go.
Because it's powder blue like the old Chargers, like the current Chargers stuff, too. Joshua Perry, that's
alma
right.
mater.
Yes, that's what it is. Yes, I don't alma mater. Is that correct phrasing on that one or not? But yes, he did play for them. So that's it for us. Make sure. But thank you to all the juicers that are on the chat. We appreciate that. We love you. Thank you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Morning Juice.
I thought mixing bleach with my floor cleaner would take the stain out.
When my youngest ate the dog's medicine, that was a new one.
I was trying to protect my garden, but I accidentally sprayed myself with pesticide.
So I called 1-800-222-1222, the poison helpline.
A poison expert helped me figure out what to do next.
I was connected to someone who spoke Spanish.
They answered my questions.
It was free.
It was confidential.
It was real help in real time.
Keep the poison experts in your pocket. 1-800-222-1222.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
Wrinkles, gray hair, and hearing loss are common signs of getting older. But being short of breath, having tightness in your chest, coughing, and wheezing are not. If you are experiencing these symptoms, you may be one of the millions of people who are living with a condition called COPD but don't know it. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years of better breathing to your life. For more information, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
Imagine home. The smell of coffee, the sound of a lawnmower, the sun's warmth on your face. Free to be yourself, surrounded by love that helps you grow. This is a place to call home. That's an American dream we all deserve. But in 50% of U.S. states, you could legally be denied housing if you are LGBTQ+. Get the facts and hear real stories at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Your child is sick. With those 4 words, the innocence and joy of childhood disappears. But Starlight has taught us 4 other words that make all the difference. The power of play. Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.